Have you ever wanted to mix a little bit of solo guitar into your rhythm guitar playing, but maybe you thought it might be a little bit too advanced for your level right now? Well, I'm gonna show you a little trick that Jimi Hendrix used all the time, and it's actually pretty easy to do. If you can do an A bar chord like this with one finger, you'll be able to do this trick and add some lead to your rhythm playing. It's a really fun way to play, and it's so versatile because you can use it over any major chord. You can bring your hand up the neck, it looks cool, and it's a lot of fun to play. Let's jump right in and let me show you how this trick works. First, let's start doing this trick in the open position, over that A chord that I talked about. So start with your A chord like this. So using your index finger just to press down strings 2, 3, and 4. Now, if you can't press down all 3 of those strings, that's okay. Aim for pressing down at least strings 3 and 4. So the D and the G strings, and then play A, D, G. The reason we want to use our index finger here to bar this A string is so that we can have our third finger left over to do hammer-ons and pull-offs, or what's called a trill, on the G and the D strings. It'll sound like this, or this. Now, that might not be very much, but if you play it as what's called a double stop, meaning 2 strings or a pair of adjacent strings like this, then it starts to sound a little bit more like what Jimi Hendrix did. Try it like this. Play the chord first, and then hammer on, pull off, and then the chord. Now, one other thing that you might have noticed that I did there is I also hammered on here on the A string, that same fret relative to the index finger position. And it's really easy to remember that, right? Once you can do it, it's pretty easy. You don't even have to think about it. Play the chord. And you can do a bunch of different variations on that, but make sure that you're always playing pairs of strings. That's just the first part of what you're going to be doing. Let me show you now how you can use that up the neck in a way that Jimi Hendrix actually used it. Now, this A chord shape can be played up the neck anywhere, as long as you don't play the A string. If you just play the strings 2, 3, 4, it gives you that shape. Here's the Hendrix part of it. Let's play this here in the 7th position. So this is an E chord. If we play E as a power chord like this, 7th fret and 9th fret, don't worry about barring the whole thing, just play the E power chord. From here, what we're gonna try to do is get our first finger up to this position so we can play those ornaments and then get back down to this power chord. So power chord and then up to here. Here's the path. Play the chord, take your third finger and play 2 frets up from where your index finger is. So now we're on the 9th fret. Slide that up 2 more frets and now your index finger will be perfectly on that spot. One more time. So what we're trying to do is shift up so we can get our first finger on this 9th fret. And then from here you can do your trills, also known as ornaments. So play the chord, slide the third finger up on the A string, 2 frets above where our index finger is going. So in that case, it's gonna be first finger's here on the 7th fret. We're gonna slide our third finger on that same string, A string, to the 11th fret. So now our first finger can be in this position to do the trills. And that's how Hendrix would use this trick. You'll hear people play this trick all the time when they're playing over a progression like Hey Joe, which goes like this. C trick, G, D trick, A, then E. And so you can use this anytime there's a major chord up the neck. So you can, as long as you know what these major chords are up the neck, then you'll be able to place that trick. You'll also hear him play this trick in the Wind Cries Mary. It sounds like this. And then from here he goes. Same idea. So let's slow that down. He starts with this. And then he does that trick 3 times in a row. So give this a shot and let me know what you think in the comments.